All right, my bad for that last stream. My hand hit the keyboard and it messed up the whole entire stream. I had to restart it all over again. So we'll start from the top. It's okay. Thank you for tuning in, all the subscribers, all the new viewers, all the Patreon members. Thank you for your support. If you guys can do me a favor, please hit the link in the description box below for the Patreon page. Let's get into it. If you hear background noise, that's my dishwasher. All right. Now, Jania Meshell, she is NBA YoungBoy and Dejounte Murray's baby mama. I talked about him last week. Doesn't want to compromise for Dejounte Murray, wants to be independent. All right. Really doesn't want to compromise for anybody. I had to throw Dejounte Murray in there because she mentions him and she's following up for what he said, that long post that he made on the internet about a week or two ago. All right. So it's the same interview that you see on the screen, but it's cut up in like 5 different clips. So we're going to play all 5 or 6 of them. I'm going to keep my hand away from the keyboard so it doesn't mess up anything. And we're going to make it do what it do. So I'm going to let these clips play. I'm going to stop and pause every once in a while so I could chime in. Let's go.
With Dejounte, as y'all know, he's more of a quiet person. He's more reserved. He doesn't go on, he wasn't going on the internet doing all of that. You get what I'm saying? So with me being hype, liking to hang out with my friends, party, whatever the case may be, people felt like that relationship wasn't good because she's this way and he's that way.
Okay, so sometimes people get into relationships with their opposite because it's new, it's fresh. And, some introverts, they might get with an extrovert because it's like, hey, you know what? I need to break out of my shell a little bit more. I need to be more outspoken. I need to get out there more, just like this person network. There's something about their personality that makes me want to, mimic that because that's what I feel like I'm missing out of my life. Right? I could learn from this person. Some people get with their opposite in a relationship. Some people they'll get with this, somebody who is the same as them that goes at their own speed. So I don't know if she showed that extroverted side of her in the beginning when she got with him. Now, here's the thing. You a young, successful man in the NBA making millions of dollars and you don't have kids, right? I don't know why he decided to choose a baby mama, especially when, the person that she has a kid by, he's a ticking time bomb. He's on medicine. All right. He's a crash out himself. His whole family seem like they kind of have the same personality. I'll just put it that way. All right. So I don't know why he decided to choose somebody like her to procreate with, but, that's his own fault. All right. He made that decision. You a man at the end of the day. You made that decision. You had enough resources on the internet to tell you to stay away from women like this, but you chose otherwise. So I don't know if she showed that extroverted side of her in the beginning, but by the look of his rant on the internet, which I know he put that out there to kind of beat the allegations before people try to say, why would you let her go? Because they always try to blame the men. All right. So I understand what he was trying to do, even though I felt like, man, you should have kept your mouth closed and just be a man about it. You're not going to sway the opinion in the public, but I know you wanted to get this out there to say what you needed to say, regardless of what people felt about you. I get it. All right. But jump in front of the allegations, say what you got to say. It came across a little bit whiny, but you telling the public how you feel. It is what it is. I'm not for it, not against it. I said what I said about it. It is what it is, right? I believe that this woman probably didn't even show her extroverted side in the beginning because you're dealing with somebody who's the bag. You went from one person who got the bag, but that bag is split amongst what, 13 other kids? No, right? So you got somebody with a bag who doesn't have any kids, and you have a kid with this person. Now you have somebody who's focused in on your journey, your well-being, your child and your other child with that person, and he's able to kind of give you the life that you probably wanted with the first baby daddy, but you couldn't get. All right. Because him, it's just like, hey, look, you fine or whatever. I'm not trying to wife you. I just want to have kids. I got a goal to have a bunch of kids or whatever. Cool. We had a kid. I'm moving on. Transactional, right? But even though that's a transactional situationship, it's not going to provide you for the life with the life that you probably wanted. Dejounte provided you with the life that you wanted, but it doesn't matter how much money you got, how much money you don't have. Once they tried something, women today, they want to try everything before they make a decision. And that final decision doesn't come around until they're about middle age, right? When they price themselves out the game. All right. So, like I said, I don't know if she showed her extroverted side in the beginning, but the main factor here is you're dealing with somebody who got a bag. So you probably kind of match his energy level until you got your investment that you wanted, which is a child, some money, right? And then you started being yourself. And then now it looks like a bait and switch. Let's continue.
So I felt like I had to kind of dull myself down just to make it look good for y'all. But in reality, y'all don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Y'all don't know how this man acts behind closed doors. So I feel like in any relationship, and that was just an example, be true to who you are.
Here's the thing. I had to dull myself down to go at his speed, quote unquote. He wanted me to stay at home, be a housewife, this, and the third. I really don't want to do that. I feel like I'm young. I still want to turn up, even though I got these kids and I got responsibility. I still want to, drop them off at my grandmama's house, young, wild, turn. I still want to party and have fun. Where are you going? Please don't tell me you're going to the club. You going to the club in 2026? I told you guys, the club is dead. All right? The club is dead. There's nothing for you at the club today but loud music, alcohol, and a bunch of dusties. Right? So I know I'm saying what I'm saying, but I'm not faulting her for what it is that she's saying. I'm accepting what it is that she's saying. This is how a lot of women feel. You just have to accept it and make a decision. Right? Stop trying to bring women like this to your round table on your podcast in Miami with 10 other women on the round table and wag your finger and scold them about how y'all need to be more traditional and the path you're going is this, that, and the third. Man, just let them do what they do. You need to make the adjustments. Okay? Either you deal with women like this and don't say nothing, right? Or you have transactional situationships. Right? Because some of these women at certain ages, when they're ready to kind of settle down with somebody, then they complain like, hey, nobody wants a relationship with them. But look how you carried yourself in a relationship amongst guys who had money. I'm not going to say elite. They're the elites in their field. All right. I can't say there's somebody that holds that much value, even though they got a lot of money. They're just high earners. But people that are elites in their field, right? You had these kind of men. Now you want a relationship, but when you had a relationship with somebody who was of substance, look how you acted. Look how you treated them. All right? That's kind of the main complaint when they get older and they want a relationship. We're moving in a time now where men have adapted and they're saying, hey, I don't want relationships. And this is one of many exhibits right here. Anyway, let's continue.
Never try to limit yourself or dole yourself out to make it work with anyone. Because at the end of the day, it might make the relationship work, but are you truly going to be happy with yourself? Are you truly going to wake up every morning like, yes, I feel good about this? No, you're not.
Did y'all hear what she said? She said, hey, basically she said, don't compromise for anybody. Even if what they're saying and how they want you to be is for your own good, don't compromise. Do what makes you happy. Even if your happiness, what makes you happy, is destructive, don't compromise for anybody. And, maintain your happiness. Even if it means you got to destroy your family, break up your family, right? Who cares about family? So guys, man, if you want a kid, especially somebody like me who don't have millions, I got a passport. I'd rather have a child with somebody than be a hero for somebody, in Latin America, the Philippines, Thailand, right? These places where they only making $100, $150, $200 a month, right? If you send over $1,000 a month, you're a hero. All right. Whereas you're providing millions for women here, and it's like, yeah, it's not enough. And that's what she goes on to say in the next video clip. All right. This is what she goes on to say right here. Let me pull it up. So pay attention.
Dealing with people with money has completely shifted my mindset because it made me realize I want to be independent.
All right. So you heard her. I want to be independent. I got enough money. I've tried everything. I've gotten a good guy. I've gotten a bad guy. I've gotten with the guy who was rich. I've messed around with guys who were broke. I messed around guys who like fast cars. I messed around guys who didn't have a car. All right. I messed around with the corporate guy. I messed around with the blue collar guy. I messed around with the thug. All right. I messed around with a guy who was in the NASCAR. I messed around with a guy who was into sports. I messed around with a guy who was into guns. You know what I'm saying? A gun, whatever the case may be. I've messed around with them all. Now I want to be independent, right? Basically, you're getting enough support. You're getting enough support from two guys to where, if you don't want to, you don't have to work, right? You don't have to work. I think in Dejounte Murray's rant, didn't he say that he set her up? He set Jania up for her to have her own businesses, right? You could be independent now because the guy with the money provided you, he turned you into an entrepreneur, right? You don't have talent, anything like that. I mean, you have a certain level of beauty that I guess certain guys like, right? And certain women, you have a certain level of beauty that women like, women admire. So you're set up on social media. You're set up with your businesses because of Dejounte. From what I can remember that he said, now I want to get away from them and do what it is that I want to do. I don't want to be told what to do. A lot of women, when you meet them, that's one of the, I've met several women. That's what they say they want. I want a guy that tells me what to do. You tell her what to do, now all of a sudden, I tried it. I don't want that no more. I thought I wanted that. I don't want that no more. I don't want a guy that tells me what to do. I want to be independent. Then you go independent. I don't want to be independent no more. I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to have to make decisions for myself no more. I want somebody who can tell me what to do. But you had a guy who gave you structure. You didn't want it. Right? So, hold on real quick.
Like, I went through the phase of being in a relationship, getting out of a relationship, working, being in a relationship, getting out of a relationship, now I'm working again. And throughout it all, like, I just feel at peace when I'm making my own money, I'm making my own moves, I have my own stuff going on, you know, and I feel like that's something that I need to work on. When I get in a relationship, I cannot just drop everything.
Well, I mean, you place yourself in a position to be around some ballers that could provide you for that life, right? If you didn't have the looks that you had now to attract those kind of men, would you be able to say that, right? Do I think she would still be a single mother? Statistics shows yes, but you know, don't become a victim to somebody who's indecisive, women that are indecisive, and they have a platform that backs up, that supports their ideology and their ideas. They have an entire fan base. They have an entire forum. They have an entire community that they can vent to, you know, that they can talk to other women who think the same way, right? Because when you do try to invest in these women, and when I say invest, I'm talking about marriage, children, what happens is then, you know, you get to the point where, you know, now you're a single father. You're a single parent. You don't have your kids waking up with you in your home every single day, right? You don't have your girl, which you looked at as a wife, to wake up next to every single day. You out here. You out here. You basically got to deal with this person for the rest of your life. You think it's 18 years. No, it ain't. No, it's not. And women, they outlive you, right? Whenever you talk to your son or your daughter, even if they're 21, 22, 23 years old, hey, where you at? Hey, what's going on? How's it going? Where you at? Oh, I'm at mom's house. Oh, shit. All right. Hey, call me when she's not. Call me when you leave her house, right? You got to witness her move on faster than you. She got another guy that's just as thirsty as you. And then she's in the media. So you got to see this. Whether she's in the media or not, you got to see this. As soon as they want to be independent, they leave. They're with another guy the next day, next week. And it's like, damn, this chick has been planning this the entire time. Because I thought that womb was mine. It ain't yours. It was your time. So you could have booked a session without the children, without moving them in. You're spending more. You're spending more than what you would have paid for had you just, hey, look, you know, I got a couple of dollars for you just for tonight. You know, and if I like you, you know, I might have you around for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months, rather. But soon as the time runs out, you know, we just part ways with love. All right, with respect. You don't have to deal with this, right? But this is affecting your work. This is affecting your hustle on the court, your mental state. Hold on, let's get into it.
I need to go do what I do for the day. You do what you do, and then we come together and we say, "How was your day?" Whatever. If I'm sitting in the house and you out doing whatever you doing, the only stories I'm gonna hear is what you got going on. Then it leaves me like, oh, I'm kind of boring now.
All right, so to a certain degree, I do agree with her. I don't think staying in the house all day working is healthy, right? Even if like the first 3-4 years, the children are at home before they go to school, then you send them off to preschool and there's no kids at home and you picking them up, dropping them off, and then your job is at home, that's boring. I wouldn't even want to do that. I never like being at home all day because that's cabin fever. You know, this is the same place you relax. Even if you have a home business, it's best to get yourself an office away from your home, right? So that energy is for work. Because when you think about work, you're relaxing, sleep, eating, food, relaxation. I don't want to be in a relaxing environment while working. All right. I want to be in a go-getter environment if I'm working. All right. So I get where women come from when they say they don't want to be housewives, because you know it feels like shit being like, imagine for 1 week straight being at home 24/7, you never leave, and you at home, and then you add kids in the mix. I get it. I get it. That's a very shitty feeling. And you never leave. So I see where women are coming from when it's like, hey man, I want to get about the house and do something. I want to get my own. And then you upset if things aren't done the exact way, the way you want them. And you don't even realize that I'm going through cabin fever. You get to travel, you get to go to this hotel, go to this restaurant, you know, meet these execs, you know, meet up with your team over here, you know, take meetings for endorsements, marketing, branding, and shit like that. And I'm just at home all fucking day, bored out of my mind. You know, I get it. Let's continue.
So now I'm questioning everything that my whole existence. But what I must say, now I know what I need, what I want to put up with and what I don't.
All right, let's go to the next video. How many more videos we got? We got 3 more.
Put up with and what.
All right. Let's go.
What I don't want to put up with. And I have to be with someone that understands this is what I want to do. Either you like it or you don't. If you don't like it, okay, let me know that in the beginning so I can go ahead and go about my business.
See, that's that bait and switch. Because here's the thing. You weren't saying that before the kids came. You weren't saying that before you got your investment. You didn't say that before you got cheating. I'm just saying in general, women in general. They'll say that after the marriage, after the kids, after the house, after they can get a lawyer and a lawyer breaks down what they're entitled to. Hey, this is what I want to do. Hey, change your plans. I'm flipping the script. Hey, yeah, the last 4 years or whatever, I know you see me one way, but that wasn't really me. I knew you had money, and I just wanted to wait until I had my investment, my marriage, and my kids or whatever. But what I'm about to tell you, this is really me. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to move. This is how I'm going to talk to you from now on. You don't fucking like it, get a divorce, right? And I'm only going to give you pussy maybe once or twice a month. All right. See, what she's saying is not what he heard in the beginning, because he probably wouldn't even have had a problem with it if you presented yourself like this in the beginning. And that needs to be another video within itself. That needs to be an entire, totally different topic within itself. All right. Are you really presenting yourself who you say you are in the beginning? Chances are no.
But I don't feel like I'll ever put myself in a position where I'm completely 110% depending on someone ever again.
All right. Why? Because
put up with.
Why? Because
How do I balance?
Here's the thing. You don't want to put yourself in a position because, you know, the United States government, the West, it allows you to be emboldened enough to say that. But a man is pretty much, it goes from you saying that you're 100% dependent on somebody to now the man is I wouldn't say 100% dependent on you, but now he's dependent on you to see the kids, visitation rights, all off your testimony. And how is somebody's, it takes a while to kind of move on. Women, it's like they're doing business the whole time when they're with you, right? They have a business mindset the whole time they're with you. They're not really in love, but once it gets to whatever year that might be, year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? For you to build up to the point to where, okay, now I got what I wanted. Now, hey, I'll stay with you or whatever, but this is how it's going to go. If you don't like it, then I'm going to leave. When somebody has the rug pulled from under them, has their family pulled away from them, right? I mean, that level, your mental state, you're not well, all right? You are not well. It's going to take more than 2 years to get over some shit like that. Men will walk around as if they're fine. It'll take, that person will never be the same ever again. It might take them years to get over that level of anxiety, just the thought of you, and it's hard because it's like, I still got to see you when I pick up my son, when I pick up my daughter. Then I got to see you with somebody else. Damn, that was fast. Then I got to see you when you get pregnant again. I'm like, okay, shit, damn. Like, I guess her moving on with somebody else, getting pregnant by somebody, that was nothing. It's like, I can't even move on. I can't even bring myself to, stop talking about the past on a date with somebody. It's taken me a minute to move on. But it's like, damn, you got somebody else, you got pregnant, you got a kid, like it ain't shit, right? That's going to affect your personality, your livelihood, and the way you conduct business. It affects your performance, right? But let's go.
How do I balance co-parenting with my kids' fathers? Well, with Casey, it's pretty easy. It's pretty simple. It's always been that way. He texts, hey, I want Casey. Okay, bet. When you gonna get him? He let.
See, it ain't shit to him because he's emotionally detached. Excuse me. He's emotionally detached from life, damn near. He's emotionally detached from the women that he's ever dealt with. It's just like, all right, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I really don't think he gives a fuck. He's just, the rare species of men out here who really truly don't give a fuck. Yeah, it ain't many. All right, but he's like, look, I don't give a fuck who you move on with. This is and the third. Let me see my kid. Here's a bag. Drop it off. Bye. All right. Dejounte wanted a family with you. This man didn't want no family.
Me know, Casey goes easy breezy, so easy. It's no problem.
Right, because there's no emotions there. It was not. You were just. I'm just nutting in these hoes. That's it. I got money. I'm nutting in these hoes. You so happen to be one of them. Oh, you pregnant? All right, cool. I'm with my other bitch right now, but congratulations. I'll see you in the hospital. Tell me when the baby's born. I'll see you in the hospital. But I'm with my bitch right now. I'm actually in some pussy right now as I'm speaking to you. So we'll talk later. That's why I was easy breezy with you. I'm pretty sure I haven't even seen this clip. I'm pretty sure what she's going to say about Dejounte, she's going to say it's a little bit more difficult. Why? Because that man was in love with you.
I'm the type of mother, I just like to have my child with a suitcase full of clothes, just so I know that he has what he needs. But whenever he goes, his dad gets some stuff and he enjoys being over there. He has a ball.
All right, I thought she was going to go into talking about Dejounte, but is she going to speak on him in the next clip?
Red flag.
Right. But I'm pretty sure with Dejounte it's probably the opposite because, you're dealing with somebody who had love for you, who had hopes for you, who felt like, hey man, I need to be a man in this relationship. I'm trying to build structure, and that's how men are supposed to be. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how alpha you are. It doesn't matter how passive you are, how agreeable you are, how alpha you are. If you put your foot down or not, you know, their moves has nothing to do with you. Damn near, it really has nothing to do with you. This is the inevitable. All right. Look at this. This is the last video right here. Jania says she doesn't want to be controlled in her relationships. I want a partnership. So I'm not going against what she's saying. This is just how women think. So don't control them. As a matter of fact, don't even get into a relationship. You know, meet somebody like this, see how much it's going for, pay a bill or two, have your fun, then move on. You're not controlling. You've contributed. And, you know, when she wants a relationship, it's not over here, right? You can find the Dejounte Murrays of the world to get that. But I'm not a Dejounte Murray. I'm never going to be in the position of a Dejounte Murray. All right, let's go.
Red flag I used to ignore that I spot instantly now is control. You know, growing up without a father, I just felt like, oh, someone's telling me don't do this, don't do that. I love it. But now it's like, now that I'm older, it's like, I don't want to be controlled. I want a partnership. I don't want someone telling me you can do this, you can't do this. I don't want that.
Okay, so they're stretching the truth here. They're really stretching it. When women say this, I'm not going against what they're saying. Like I said, man, you could do whatever it is that you want. I'm not with you. All right. I give you $150, $200 here and there. And I don't care who you go back home to. I don't care who your man is, whatever. Right. When I'm done with you, or we could be done with each other off of the first meetup. We could be done with each other off of month 1, month 2, month 3. Right. I'm not trying to be with this. And that's fine, because they're really stretching it when they say this. When they say, I don't want that, I don't want somebody telling me this, that, no. What they're really saying is, look, I know how I'm supposed to carry myself in a relationship, right? I know if this man were to do exactly what it is that I'm doing, I will be pissed off, because whatever, he's just a black man. I'm not really in love. I'm just trying to get a bag or whatever. He's just a black man. Is nobody really to respect anyway, right? He's nobody really to respect. You don't really mean shit anyway. I'm just kind of going with the flow a little bit until I get what it is that I came for. And then once I got it, I'm gone. That's what they're really not telling you. Somebody to tell me what it is. Come on. Somebody to tell me what to do. Look, you've had a change of heart after you had kids. I'm pretty sure you weren't like this before the kid came in. Now that the kid came into the play, and it's like, okay, I'm postpartum, whatever, never was in love with this dude anyways. It's just kind of an investment for me. Now I'm going to do what it is, what the fuck I want to do. Because let me tell you, if Dejounte Murray came in and said this and did what it is that she was doing to her, women would troll him to the point where he would have to shut his account down. Women would buy tickets just to go to the game and make signs to shit on Dejounte Murray, right? Away games, home games. When he would walk in and out of the tunnel, women would be there to throw trash on him if that was him. If he said that, look here, man. Y'all have seen me with other women. It is what it is. I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to be told what to do. I'm not even looking for no relationship. I'm looking for a partnership. A woman can't tell me when and when I can't come home. A woman can't tell me who I can hang out with and who I can't hang out with, what I can say, what I can't say, what I can do, what I can't do, what I'm supposed to buy for her and what I'm not supposed to be buying. Women, like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want a relationship. I want a partnership. Right? Women, he would have to turn the comments off. The shit women would say underneath his comments, you know, the Instagram algorithm would pick it up, and then some of them women would get banned off Instagram. They would have to make it another email and another account to shit on this person. They would get their accounts banned for the shit they would say to a man like that. But it's okay for women to say that. And that's fine. They can feel like this. You don't have to have children with a woman like this. You don't have to move a woman in who think like this. You don't have to marry a woman like this. You could get women like this for a couple dollars. She's not my type, especially with all them tattoos. She got a big chest tattoo. She's not my type. And when it comes to black women, I like women with natural hair. But you don't have to save women like this because he's already saved you. You already got your investment. Now I want to do what I want to do. Okay, I use you for a kid and money, and I got 2 ballers as baby daddies. I don't want a relationship. I just want a partnership. And that becomes dangerous because then one baby daddy has to deal with the other baby daddy because his kid is in your house, right? Then you got to deal with their family, her family, his family, right? Your family. Not a good mix. Then when because, you know, most of these women, they're the butterfly. You know, in Thailand, the butterfly represents like, you know, the insect that flies around from flower to flower, you know, pollinating, taking pollen off of each flower, sucking all the flower dry, then going off to the next flower, the next flower, and the next flower, right? So you got a woman butterflying her way through life, and then who's to say the next guy should get with? The next guy you get with might be Nicki Minaj's brother, right? So you don't really want to procreate with women like this. Hold on.
I think I had to get out of having daddy issues to get to this point in my life. And I am so happy I realized that because I feel like my relationships could have been going well if I would have just let that know off there. There's no control and go.
Exactly. My relationship, and most women feel like this. I'm glad she said this. Hold on.
Over here.
I'm glad. Let me play that part again. Hold on. Let me play this.
Realize that because I feel like my relationships could have been going well if I would have just let that know off there. There's no control.
Okay, so she's not very articulate, but kind of scatterbrained. I get it. But what she's basically saying is my relationships could have gone well if I would have just said what I wanted and who I really am in the beginning of the relationship, right? I said this early in the stream. I haven't watched these videos. I watched a little bit of the first video on Shade Room, and I said, all right, I got to download these videos. I said this in the beginning. I said that this woman didn't present herself who she really was or what she really wanted to be. She didn't give her honest motive in the beginning of the relationship. Why most women don't. Most women don't. Most women don't tell you, hey, look, I just want a baby. I don't really care about you. Once I have the baby, I'm detached, and this is kind of the amount of child support I want every single month. It's just transactional, right? Okay, you're in love. You want me. You want me in the house. You want me to do this. Okay, I kind of play that role in the beginning until I don't want to no more. And then I can take you to court if you don't agree later on and it gets out of hand, whatever, and I'll play the victim and turn you into a monster. Pause. Right? I can turn you into something. I can make everybody turn themselves against you. Right? That's not what women do. All right, this is what you want. All right, whatever. This is kind of what I want, and you're going to be my partner. You're going to provide this, and the third for me. You are the money man. I'm going to get you to spend your money on me. Give me a kid as an 18-year investment, so I can have enough money to either flip that or gain the notoriety, and I can gain your fame, pull that over to my platform, and just be known as a bad bitch. Right? Mismanage all the money that y'all give me for these kids or whatever. And then I'm going to find another you at 37, 38 years old and keep that going for another 18 years. Right? A lot of these women in these spaces, they have a plan that at least lasts about 55 years old. And then at 55, then that's when they want a relationship. But then at that time, they're going to get on the internet and say, hey, I've been sleeping in my car. I've been sleeping in my car for a year. Nobody helps me. I don't have family. Right? I'm a good woman. I cook and clean. I'm not like that. You know, my kids' fathers are great, but they didn't do me right. They didn't do right by me. They were very controlling and abusive. No, ma'am, you had a motive. You had an agenda. All right? You just admitted it. This is who I am. This is what I want. I should have told them in the beginning, and I wouldn't have this issue now, but you don't care. You don't care. Right? One guy is like, see, she's like, hey, everything is cool with NBA Youngboy because he was never in love. He drops money off. This is and a third. He was never in love. Cool. You having problems with this one because he was in love and he wants the family traditional structure. I've had women that told me that I'm looking for a partner. I'm not your partner. I ain't your partner. All right. Or partner. That's not me. As a matter of fact, because we're gonna pull up the dictionary real quick. Let's look on Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Let's look up the term partner. This is what we should do. No, I don't want the source. Okay, hold on. Let me pull this up. We're going to read this together. All right? Because women use this all the time. I've had ex-girlfriends use this with me. I'm like, I ain't your partner. Let's read all the definitions of partner and partnership. Partner, noun. One associated with another, especially in an action. Associate, colleague, right? Somebody you work with. Our military partners throughout the world. An associate. Could you imagine introducing your girl as your associate, your colleague? And what is she going to say? Man, what the fuck was that back there? I mean, that's just a synonym for partner. That's what you said. You want a partnership, right? That's what partner means, associate, colleague. They'll be offended that you're not in love enough to invest into them so that they can take their investment and go. A person with whom one shares an intimate relationship, one member of a couple. Okay. All right. So this is what they mean. Is this what they're saying? Even and his partner are going on a Caribbean cruise. When I hear the term partner as somebody you're in an intimate relationship with, usually that's, and this is no disrespect, usually people in the LGBTQ community uses that term. right? In a heterosexual relationship, I wouldn't use that term for somebody, my lady that I'm with. Either of two persons who dance together. And you could take that figuratively also. One or two or more persons who play together in a game against an opposing side. Playing a game together. You see, when they say partner and men get offended by that, they're saying, well, why are you getting offended? The Webster's Dictionary, this is what it means: a person with whom one shares an intimate relationship, one member of a couple. That's what I mean when I say partner. Why are you getting offended? Why? Because there's multiple definitions of partner. This is what they really mean right here. This is what they're playing games saying, hey, definition B is what I mean when I'm talking about you. But as time goes along, you'll see that they meant definition D. One or two or more persons who play together in a game against an opposing side. You could take out the opposing side. A member of a partnership, especially in a business, this is what they also mean. One of the heavy timbers that strengthen a ship's deck to support a mast, usually used in plural. Okay. All right. So you are a partner. You're somebody that they dance with, somebody that they use in a membership. And then once they got the investment, they're going to cancel that membership. All right. But anyways, what do y'all think? Like, subscribe, comment in the comment section below. I'm over and I'm out. Check out the link in the description box below for the Patreon page. Peace.